best-loved holiday destinations, overlooked by Croagh Patrick and touching the Atlantic Ocean, Westport has it all. Voted the best place to live in Ireland and winner of several Tidy Town awards, Westport exudes friendliness and charisma, as does today's guest. Frank McCaffrey is one of Ireland's best loved and most respected performers, and today we are honoured that he is opening his home to us and inviting us through the half door. Hiya Frank.
Michael, how are you doing?
Thanks very much indeed for inviting us in.
You're welcome. Come on in ahead.
Playing bass with Margot and the Country Folk and then forming his own group, Band of Gold, Frank has entertained crowds the world over. Albums like Rambling Boy and Irish Favourites have helped Frank make his mark, and his latest release, The Ultimate Collection, proves that there is still great things to come.
Come on, Michael. Come in here into the sitting room. Come in here. This is my mum and dad.
That's a lovely photograph, Frank. Come back to years. Yeah,
they're nice, the old photographs.
Absolutely.
And Marie's mother and father, Joe and Kathleen.
Memories everywhere.
Yeah.
And here we have
that's Elaine graduation, and Marie, of course, and Trina on her graduation. I'll show you Clare Island now.
All right, we'll have a look at
Clare Island here. Wait till I show you the view here.
Yeah, some view you have out there, Frank.
On a good day, you can see, they say forever, but you can see Clare Island out there on a good day. So I'll tell you what we'll do now. We'll have a cup of tea.
I love a cup of tea.
Come on.
Well, Frank, thanks very much indeed for welcoming us here into your home today in Westport.
Not a problem. It's good to see you. Good to see you.
You're a homegrown Covey.
Homegrown Covey, yeah. Born and bred here in Westport. Nice town, isn't it?
It's an absolutely gorgeous town. It's a friendly town and a welcoming town.
Yeah, it's a very successful town now. It hasn't always been like this now. We had a huge immigration, of course, like everywhere else, you know. That's hence all the songs that kept us going for. Sure, that's what kept me going for years, you know.
Well, of course, you find that from Donegal all the way down to Kerry
right down
on the coast.
That's
all
it.
the immigration songs are mainly
and all the dancing.
from this region.
The dancing. I mean, sure, this was one of the Galway and Mayo would have been the two strongholds of dancing for so many years. I think Belmullet Hall was one of the last to actually close down of that time. You know, before our local radios and all that. Now,
the famous Palm Court.
Oh, great place. We used to play there. I played there with Margot on Christmas night. Played in Westport on Christmas night too.
Early influences, Frank, with the family there. I know you got involved with the brass band, but how did all that come about?
Well, my grandfather was a brass band master, Peter McConville. He was a gorgeous man. He was a really nice man. He was a small man, and small enough now in stature, but he was a huge man. But he was a fantastic musician. And he used to write music, and he put music together for the town band. And he worked very hard at that. And I used to go down and I might open up the band room for him, and I think maybe he and a few of them might go in and have a nip before they come down to the thing, and they'd be well entitled to it. And I got in the band. I think I was about 6, and I got playing a triangle. Now, if you ask any 6-year-old do they want to play a triangle, they will say no. But this is the only way to get in, and there was no favours for the family. And then eventually he let me play cornet. In fact, we had a big band in Mullingar when I was with Margot, and I don't know, there was about 24 musicians or something on this band, and I was in the brass section, and I was playing third trumpet. And for again, the musicians will know, third trumpet is the best to be reading, because you're reading all the accidentals. You usually get the hard pieces to play, to read, and I remember on a good few occasions coming home and running through the music with him. You know, I think he was about 82, and he was playing euphonium, and that was the procession here in Westport. So hopefully I might get to 82 or 84. Wouldn't it be a lovely thought? And be able to play now.
Good.
Wouldn't it be great?
Absolutely.
It'd be great.
And playing, as I said, with Margot at that time, a huge name back then as well. And
still,
you had people like Kieran Murphy, I suppose.
That's right, poor Kieran, from Ballinrove, and Michael Caine. Then, of course, Pat Friel. Pat is still going well, thanks be to God, with his Cayley band. And I joined Margot when I was 18. And that was right from the local band right up to, I mean, they were one of the big bands in Ireland, you know. Talk about a leap, you know. I'd like to go over and play in the Galtimore and Cricklewood. I think they were talking about 3,000 or 4,000 people, you know. I was probably at the back end of that great time. You know, it got a few years and then it was on the wane, I think.
But you were coming to the era where the show bands were switching towards the country bands.
That's right.
As well.
That's right. Yeah. And Margot, Big Tom and Margot were probably of the two biggest bands going into London, you know, at that time. So you do 5 nights of a tour or whatever, you know. It was great times now, but we worked awful hard now. You know, if you compare that with now, I mean, the roads have improved, the vehicles have improved. All I ever remember about a transit van, the heater never worked. So you're coming home 3 o'clock in the morning, 300 miles to go, no heater, you know, that sort of thing.
And making that connection with the Irish throughout the UK was important that time, because here were people long time before mobile phones, internet or anything like that. So the band and the songs they sang was what resonated in the hearts of an awful lot of people. Well,
that was the connection with the people. That was the connection, of course. I vividly remember Margot singing James Connolly in Fulham, the Hibernian in Fulham, and maybe 300 people at the front of the stage, and you see people crying. It just brings them back so much, you know, connects them to their home. Mm-hmm. We had no Ryanair. I mean, to fly that time from Dublin, we had no knock, of course, to fly from Dublin over was £200.
Which is very, very expensive.
At that time, £200, Michael, was a massive amount of money. I think we went over and done 12 nights in England. That meant going right around the whole country. Coming back into Holyhead, back to Dublin, back down to the Glen Eagle, I think we went playing. And then we did another 13 nights on the trot. Of course, to me it wasn't work. I never thought it was work. And that's probably one of the problems with the business, is that most people thought it wasn't even a job.
When did the singing come to the fore for you? Because, like, obviously, if you were in the band with Margot, she was the lead singer.
Oh, she was the lead singer. That was it. Yeah. I used to sing an odd duet with Margot,
right.
But she had an accident then, and she was off the road for a few years. I think 2 years she was off, to keep the band going. I was the singer with the band then for a while, and it kind of catapulted me into a different thing again. I was always very lucky. That's the one thing I'll have to say. Timing-wise, everything always seemed to be right for me. I mean that. I always consider myself a really fortunate person, you know.
Your stars are always in the right line.
Well, I must have done something right with the man above too, you know.
Yeah.
I'd like to think so anyway.
And when did you record your first song?
The first song that I would have done would have been "I Love You More Than Yesterday," and I went over to do a concert tour with Ray Lynham and Philomena, and a BBC fella came in and he wanted to do, from BBC Radio, and he wanted to do an interview, and he asked to do an interview with me, and I found it very strange because I was new relative in comparison to Ray and Phil, but he said, "We have your song, I Love You More Than Yesterday, and it's a requested song that we use in anniversary slots." So again, time and again, you see, Des Wilson had sent me a song called "It's Our Anniversary," and he said, "I think it might be a good follow-up for I Love You More Than Yesterday." And I was thinking, well, that is an anniversary song, and that's exactly what happened. It became a huge song in England. You know, one of these occasional songs, as they call them, that doesn't chart. It went very close to charting in England now, but it was better than a charted song because it would last. Well, what I started to do then was, and I thought it was sensible for me, was work with whatever people are asking you to sing. If someone are asking a certain type of song, stick with it. That's obviously what's suiting, you know.
Right. Castlebar Song Contest, you featured in that a few times over the years.
Remember our song?
Alone in New York City.
That's the one. It was a great song, you know, and that was the decided that year to go country, if you remember, and we did a bit of work on that. I thought that song came out well, you know. It was good for its time. It's good for now too. Castlebar was massive, and all the singers from England, a lot of the big singers I sang with, a lot of people. It was probably the best song contest in Ireland. But then you had Cavan. I remember I was second in Castlebar by 1 point. Remember, that was Dana's brother.
One of the Brown lads.
That's what John Brown, I think was his name.
Cherry, yeah.
Cavan, Sing Me an Old Irish Song. That was
Brendan
Graham's song. That was second. And what won that year was My Cavan Town, which was a great song.
So that's Tom Moore.
Tom Moore, that's right. Yeah, and the good songs have all lasted too now, you know. But a good song will always. That's one thing that I have found. First of all, if you record a song well, it always stays good. You know, a good song doesn't age like.
And I suppose the thing about country music is of a more enduring quality, isn't it?
Well, that's it.
Certainly lasting quality.
Absolutely.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I mean, sure, look at the old songs. Well, we're all singing the same songs. Yeah. I mean, I'd be still singing songs I was doing 30, 40 years ago, you know. Yeah, I enjoyed the song contest too. They were different at the time.
After the break, we'll speak to Frank about his solo career, his brand new album, and his plans for the future.